Hello, everybody. This is Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And I need to shut this drape. All right, so I'm back from my colonoscopy. Things went great, but now I have another thing I'm dealing with, and that is poison ivy. I helped my wife do some weeding, and I thought I had identified where the poison ivy was, but I must have missed something somewhere because I don't know if you can see the red on my fingers, and then where my wedding ring is, the sap got under there, and it basically, I have a wedding ring of itchy misery. And it is also on other parts of my body, which I'm not going to talk about. But yes, so is today one of these shows that is a diary entry into the life of Skip Elsheimer, the AV Geek? A little bit, because we also had a plumbing person here, and so we're going to watch a couple of films about poisonous plants, and then we're going to watch simple plumbing repairs, because that's what's on my mind right now. And I'm super itchy, and I might have to go get a steroid shot because it's all over right now. Ugh. Anyways, here's Poison Plants. Enjoy.
The world of plants, always beautiful, sometimes dangerous. This is poison oak. If you touch it, this plant may give you a painful skin rash.
93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Ready or not, here I come.
The oleander bush seems good to hide behind, but the plant is poisonous. Chewing an oleander leaf can make you ill.
Okay, throw it. Come on, throw it good. All right, that's right. Throw it over. Throw it. Why did you have to do that? I think that's poison oak. Come on, let me try to get it.
Touching this ball might cause a skin rash because poisonous oils from the plant may now be on it. Look carefully and remember what poison oak is like. Then avoid it. This is poison ivy. It too contains an oil that can give you a skin rash. Beware of it. Another plant that can cause your skin to break out in a rash is the poison sumac. Avoid its leaves, stems, and blossoms. The oil particles from these plants are so tiny, they can even be carried by wind or smoke. In some cases, skin irritations from these plants can be so serious that a doctor is needed, or even a hospital. As soon as you suspect that you have been near a poisonous plant, wash with strong soap. This helps prevent skin irritation. Here's one way accidents can happen. The bead in the girl's mouth is a dried rosary bean. It's highly poisonous. It could kill you. People use rosary beans as ornaments and don't realize they are dangerous.
Wendy, I'd like to rest about a hot dog. I have enough hot dogs, but I don't have enough skewers. See? Oh. Well, maybe I'll use a twig. Good idea. Be sure to get a green twig, because if you get a brown twig, it might burn. Okay, I'll go get a good green twig. Wendy, how's a stick? Oh, that's fine. Here's some hot dogs. Aren't hot dogs good? Yeah, they're delicious.
Is it really a good idea to use a branch for barbecuing? Sometimes not. This branch came from this oleander bush. Not only are the oleander leaves poisonous, so are the twigs and branches. When poisoning is suspected, the best thing you can do is drink lots of water. Then see a doctor as soon as possible.
Come on! Hurry up! I found berries over here! I found some red ones, orange ones.
Thousands of different kinds of berries grow wild. Many are good to eat. Some can make you sick.
Does anybody know what kind of berries these are?
These are yellow currant berries. They are harmless and tasty, and are among the wild berries that are safe to eat.
Oh, here's some more. They're all over.
You can learn to recognize which berries are edible and enjoy picking them fresh from the bushes.
More up in there.
But you have to know what you're doing.
Hey, look out for the mushroom.
I didn't know there was any here.
Neither did I.
There's some more over there.
Let's go pick them.
Yeah. Ew,
They look different
spots
than the
on
other
them.
ones. Those other ones are different. This one's bigger. Different colors.
Yellow and orange and pink.
That one's only brown. Light brown.
These are different shapes. Hi, Dad.
Look, Dad. Look what we got.
Yeah. Hey, guys, you want to be careful when it comes to mushrooms. Same variety of mushroom growing in one spot can be poisonous. Growing in another spot, it can be all right. You just can never tell about mushrooms. If you like them, get them in a restaurant or a grocery store, but don't pick them. They can be poisonous. Hey, guys. You know what this is?
No?
What's
I
it
don't
look
know,
like?
Looks like an onion to
That's
me.
right. That's the problem. It does look like an onion. Actually, it's a daffodil bulb. Remember we had them growing here last year? I'm just digging them up for next season. Somebody might see this and think it's an onion and eat it. That'd be a problem because it's poisonous.
Is there any other poisonous plants in the yard?
Oh, yeah, there are probably quite a few here in the yard. Here, we'll take a look at some of them over here. Now, these are tomatoes, which are okay. The leaves are something else. These leaves over here, you can use those in cooking, and it'd be all right. That's the basil plant. But tomato leaves are actually poisonous, even though the tomatoes themselves are okay. So you got to be careful. Here's a poisonous plant that's easy to miss. It's Jimson weed. Not only the fruit, but the leaves and the stem are all poisonous. In fact, if you were to rub it against your hand and then rub your hands across your face or against your eyes, you would cause a skin irritation and your eyes would water. This is belladonna. Originally, this came from Europe and was used as a medicine. But if you were to eat one of these berries that's growing wild, it would make you very sick.
Many people don't suspect that even plants from nurseries can be poisonous. The Jerusalem cherry, for example. Its leaves and unripe fruit are poisonous. The poinsettia, the rhododendron, the azalea, the lantana, and the nightshades. Just chewing any part of them will make you sick. The castor bean shrub decorates many gardens and parks. The seeds of the castor bean are especially dangerous. The seeds, if eaten, are so poisonous they can be fatal. To enjoy nature and be safe, you just have to remember a few simple things.
Some plants can really irritate your skin. Never put any plant or part of a plant into your mouth. Remember, trees can be poisonous too.
Picking berries is a lot of fun, if you know what kind of berries you're eating. They may look pretty, but that doesn't mean they're good to eat.
If you like mushrooms, buy them in a grocery store or get them in a restaurant. But don't just pick them. They could be poisonous.
The more you know about plants, the more you can enjoy nature and have a really good time.
So I just barely touched any leaves. And at no point did I see any of those plants, but they were in there somewhere. Yeah, so my body is super allergic to it. It's very frustrating. All right, so we had a plumber here. So let's watch this. I've shown it, I think I showed this like 2 years ago, but this is simple plumbing repairs. Enjoy.
Not all plumbing problems require the services of a plumber. There are several simple repairs that you can make yourself once you know what to do. To make simple plumbing repairs, you will need a few basic tools: a plunger, a can of solvent lubricant, an adjustable wrench, slip joint or channel type pliers, flat and Phillips screwdrivers, heat-proof grease, electrician's tape, a drain auger with an adjustable handle, and a closet auger. Armed with these tools, you'll be ready to do battle with a host of minor plumbing problems. Let's start with that well-known nuisance, the clogged drain. A clog is usually nothing more than an accumulation of grease, soap residue, or hair trapped in the pipe below the sink. To work on a clogged drain, it's necessary first to remove the drain stopper. On some bathroom basins, the stopper is attached to its handle by a brass rod. The rod is secured to a metal strap with holes in it by means of a metal spring clip. To disconnect the rod from the metal strap, squeeze the spring clip in the jaws of your pliers. This releases the tension on the rod, and the exposed end of the rod will slip out easily. Holding a bucket under the drain, unscrew the fitting at the opposite end of the rod and remove it from the drain pipe. This will free the stopper. Some basins have stoppers that come out with a simple turning and lifting action. When the stopper is removed, replace the nut and brass rod to reseal the opening. Now you can go to work on the clog with a plunger. Before you use a plunger, sometimes called a plumber's friend, rub a thick layer of petroleum jelly around the rim. This will help the plunger produce a tighter seal and better suction. If the basin has an overflow outlet, plug it with a damp rag as you use the plunger. This will increase the suction you can exert on the clog. After running an inch or two of water into the basin, place the plunger over the drain and pump it up and down forcefully to build up suction. Keep at it, even if you don't see any results right away. When you see even a little drainage, consider yourself victorious, because this usually indicates that you can use a chemical drain cleaner to finish the job. Be very careful when using any kind of drain cleaner. Both liquid and powder drain cleaners contain caustic chemicals and can be very dangerous if not properly handled. Always read and follow directions on the container. Also, be sure to store drain cleaner out of the reach of children. Give the cleaner plenty of time to work, and then flush it away. If the clog has been dissolved, the water will drain rapidly from the basin. If neither the plunger nor the drain cleaner has corrected the problem, you'll have to remove the trap under the basin. First, put a bucket under the trap to catch the water inside. To avoid marring the chrome finish, wrap the slip joints with electrician's tape. Then use channel-type pliers or an adjustable wrench to loosen the slip joint nuts so you can remove the trap. With the trap removed, you can go to work on the clog with a drain auger, also known as a snake. An auger is an inexpensive tool that resembles a steel cable. On one end, there is a coil of wire to catch or break up obstructions. Use a cranking motion of the handle to feed the auger into the pipe. When you've worked the auger in as far as the handle, loosen the set screw and slide the handle back a few inches along the auger and away from the pipe. After tightening the set screw, continue to work the auger into the pipe a little at a time until you catch or break through the clog. Next, use the drain auger or a piece of wire to clean out the trap. Before putting the trap back, replace the slip joint washers to assure a watertight seal. These washers are available at hardware stores. Simply slip the new washer over the lip of the pipe. If your toilet drain becomes clogged, first try to break up and remove the obstruction with your plumber's friend. If that doesn't work, try to remove the blockage with your closet auger. This is a tool specially designed for use with toilets. When you're finished with the auger, dry it off and then wipe it with an oily rag to protect it from rust during storage. Like clogged drains, leaky faucets are another irritating plumbing problem which you can easily correct. But before you start repairs, you must water supply to the fixture. Underneath most sinks and lavatories, you'll find individual shut-off valves on the hot and cold water pipes. To close a valve, turn its handle clockwise as far as it will go. If your home doesn't have individual valves, you can turn off the water to the entire plumbing system at the main shut-off valve. A word of caution. If you turn off the main water shut-off valve for your entire home, it's an important safety precaution to turn your water heater dial to the pilot position until you turn the main water valve back on. Once the water is turned off, turn on the leaky faucet until all the water is drained out of the line. Inside most faucets, there is a stem which acts as a plug to control the flow of water. When you turn on the water, the stem unplugs the pipe and allows water to run from the faucet. When the faucet is turned off, a small rubber washer at the base of the stem plugs the pipe and stops the flow of water. When this washer has worn to the point where it can no longer provide a watertight seal, the faucet will drip constantly. Before starting work on a leaky faucet, it's a good idea to put a towel in the basin to protect the porcelain from chipping if you accidentally drop a tool. The next step is to remove the faucet handle. The screw holding the handle in place may be hidden under a cap that unscrews or snaps out. After removing the faucet cap, take out the handle screw. Then lift off the handle. If it sticks, use gentle leverage to pry. If the handle still won't budge, apply a few drops of a solvent lubricating product. Wait a few minutes to let the solvent work. The handle should now come off easily. If the faucet has a decorative escutcheon, remove it. Once again, protect the finish by wrapping the escutcheon or the jaws of the wrench with tape. When the escutcheon is removed, the bonnet is exposed. Turn the bonnet counterclockwise until it's loose. Then, pull the entire stem and washer assembly from its fitting. Here's a different kind. The faucet seat is attached to the stem. You will need to unscrew it. Next, remove the screw that holds the washer in place and remove the washer. A worn-out washer will be noticeably scarred and misshapen. Pick out a new washer that's the same size and general shape as the old one. You can buy an inexpensive assortment package of faucet washers at a hardware store or supermarket. If the replacement washer is rounded on one side, put it on the stem with the rounded side out. If the old screw is worn or damaged from repeated washer changes, replace it with a new one. Usually, several replacement screws come with a package of washers. It's a good idea to lubricate the threads with heat-proof grease before tightening it in the stem. Next, you lubricate the faucet seat and reassemble it onto the stem and grease the stem before replacing it. Greasing all metal-to-metal fittings now can save you a lot of trouble and aggravation the next time you take the assembly apart. Now you tighten the bonnet, replace the escutcheon, and handle screw, and finally put the screw cap back in place. After you've turned on the water supply at the shutoff valve, you can check your work. No leaks or drips. But don't forget to turn up the heat controls on your water heater when the job is done. Some faucets don't have washers. They're even easier to fix. When you have a leak or drip in a washerless faucet, simply replace this core and reassemble it in the same manner as the traditional faucet. Repairing a faucet that leaks around the handle is another simple job. This type of leak usually indicates worn packing. Packing is string-like material which is wrapped around the stem to produce a watertight seal inside the packing nut. To replace worn packing, first disassemble the faucet as you would to replace a worn washer. Remember to turn off the water, drain the line, and turn down the water heater before you start. Next, use a screwdriver or a nail to dig out the old packing. Then, wind enough new packing around the stem to fill the inside of the packing nut. You can buy new packing at most hardware stores. Again, remember to lubricate all the metal fittings before you put the faucet back together. As you tighten down the packing nut, the new packing will be compressed and make a watertight seal around the stem. Avoid over-tightening the packing nut, because this will make the faucet hard to open and close and will cause the packing to wear out faster. Instead of packing, some faucets have rubber seals around the stem called O-rings to prevent leakage around the handle. Worn O-rings are easier to replace than packing. Just slip them off the stem, lubricate new O-rings of the same size, and slide the new ones into place. Leaky bathtub and shower faucets with washers are repaired in the same way as sink and lavatory faucets. If the connection is recessed in the wall, you'll need to use a deep throat socket wrench to remove the stem. Once the stem is removed, the repair procedures will be the same as for sink and lavatory faucets. Now, here's another common plumbing problem which you can solve: a malfunctioning toilet tank. Whenever a problem develops, first remove the cover and take a look inside. You'll probably see a mechanism that looks something like this. Its operation is really quite simple. When the toilet is flushed, the trip lever lifts the tank ball, allowing the water to flow out of the tank and into the bowl. When the tank is almost empty, the tank ball falls back into place, sealing the outlet. Meanwhile, the float falls with the water level and opens the water inlet valve just as the tank outlet is sealed. With the inlet valve open, water flows through the filler tube into the tank. Water also flows into the bowl through the refill tube. When the water level approaches the top of the overflow pipe, the float closes the inlet valve. The toilet is now ready to be flushed again. If water continues to run after the tank is full, you may need to make some minor repairs. If the metal parts are heavily corroded with thick, white deposits, it may be that the linkages are binding because of a calcium buildup from the water. Often, a liberal application of a solvent lubricant will free the linkages to work properly. If the mechanical parts of the toilet are worn out, you may want to install one of the modern water conservation tanks. They fit almost any toilet, come with simple installation directions, and help you save water and money. Be sure to specify the anti-siphon model. If your toilet mechanism is not corroded or worn out, but water continues to run after the tank is filled with water, pull upward on the float rod. If the water stops running, all you have to do to correct the problem is adjust the position of the float. Simply bend the float rod until the float is about a half-inch lower. If this doesn't take care of it, the problem could be worn washers in the water inlet valve. Before proceeding, though, turn off the water supply by closing the shut-off valve beneath the tank, or by closing the main valve. Then, flush the toilet to empty the tank. To replace the inlet valve washers, take out the screws that hold the float rod linkage. You may need to use pliers to loosen them. With the screws removed, you can pull the plunger from the valve. You'll find a solid, flat washer at the base of the plunger. If it shows signs of wear, take it out and replace it with a new one of the same type and size. Usually, there is another washer that fits in a groove cut in the side of the plunger. If necessary, replace this washer also. Plungers may differ, so get the type of washer made for your kind. A leaky float can also cause water to keep running into the tank. To inspect the float, simply unscrew it from the float rod. If there's water inside, the float should be replaced. If water runs into the tank after a flush, but the tank doesn't refill, check to be sure the tank ball is centered in the outlet. If it's not, loosen the set screw on the guide and position the guide so that it will allow the tank ball to drop directly into the outlet. Sometimes a tank doesn't refill because the lift wires get in a bind and prevent the tank ball from falling back into the outlet after a flush. You can often correct this problem by bending the lift wires until they work smoothly. In some cases, a worn-out tank ball is the culprit. To remove it, hold it in one hand and unscrew the lift wire. If the wire is stuck, hold the top loop with a pair of pliers as you turn the ball. Before you attach the new tank ball, scrape off any mineral scale deposits with steel wool or fine sandpaper. Such deposits can sometimes cause leakage around the tank ball. When your tank ball wears out, you might consider replacing it with a stopper ball or rubber flapper device. To install a rubber flapper in place of a tank ball, first remove the lift wires. Then loosen the guide arm and slide it up and off the overflow pipe. Slide the rubber flapper over the pipe and push it all the way to the bottom. Finally, adjust the lift chain to proper length and connect it to the trip lever. When you're finished with all repairs, remember to turn on the water. Next time a minor household plumbing failure occurs, you may want to use the tools and procedures you've seen in this film to make your own simple plumbing repairs.
Sorry, I hope that wasn't too long of a gap. Anyways, yeah, so we had our refrigerator died, and so we had to get a new refrigerator, and we wanted filtered water, so we had to put in a line. It's never ending, and my wife pointed out that I actually have poison ivy right here too, so it's not spreading, but it is showing up lots of places. Blah. Speaking of poisonous plants, here's another film about poisonous plants that was made earlier than the previous one I showed. And this one seems more severe and crisis provoking. Enjoy.
Each year, hundreds of frightened people make emergency calls to doctors' offices or hospital emergency rooms because of suspected poisonings from eating plants. The very word poison is enough to frighten most people, for when we hear the word poison, we think of a substance which in small quantities has an immediate effect and which leads rapidly to death. Fortunately, this is not the usual case. Fatalities do occur, but they are few. Still, there are significant possibilities of discomfort or serious harm from plants, especially to the small children under the age of 5, who are the most frequent victims of poisonings. Perhaps we should use the more general word harmful instead of the technical words poison and poisonous, for most of the plants seen in this film can cause physical harm and illness to human beings, although the plants rarely kill. Many different physical changes are produced by different harmful plants, ranging from skin irritations and allergies to gastrointestinal upsets, circulatory disturbances, or nervous system involvement. The effects of harmful plants depend on many factors. The size and weight of the person contacted is for this reason that our greatest concern is with small children. Several ounces of a plant eaten by a 200-pound adult might cause a stomach upset. Consumption of the same amount of material by a 130-pound teenager could result in vomiting and diarrhea. But eaten by a 36-pound 3-year-old, the same material could bring on coma, respiratory collapse, or death. Of the many thousands of different kinds of plants found in the United States, perhaps only about 300 different species are known to be harmful to man. We can increase our safety, prevent poisonings, by knowing which plants are potentially hazardous. For on a daily basis, we all come in contact with plants which are poisonous. Rhubarb sold in stores usually consists only of the leaf stalks. But rhubarb grown at home or sold at roadside stands often has the leaf stalk and leaf blade attached. The leaf blade is poisonous. People have died from using the leafy blade as food. These green blades must be discarded and never used as food for humans. All parts of potatoes contain the poison solanin. There is relatively little poison in the edible white part, so that we eat large amounts without becoming ill. However, wherever the potato is green, in the sprouts or under the skin, there is a concentration of the poison. It is advisable to remove all sprouts and any green portions from potatoes and to discard spoiled or very green potatoes. As people seek to economize or to experiment with wild plants, their danger increases. The common names of plants may be confused, resulting in poisoning. The name laurel is an example. The leaves of the dangerous mountain laurel may be confused with the laurel used as a seasoning. The packaged material is perfectly safe. The shrub mountain laurel is a totally different plant and is hazardous. Peach seeds are confused with sweet almonds. However, peach seeds and the seeds of other fruits, like cherries, can produce cyanide poisoning if a small handful of the seeds are chewed and swallowed. Then surface appearances are not to be relied upon. Imported chestnuts are safe, sold in stores to be cooked and eaten. The horse chestnuts, familiar to us all, are poisonous and should never be put in the mouth. Plants that look similar may be radically different in effect, and many safe plants share common names with other plants which are very dangerous. Poison ivy, the plant most commonly thought of as harmful, with as much as 1/2 the population sensitized to it at any one time, producing an allergic reaction on the skin, with millions of cases each year and still not recognized by great numbers of people. All parts of poison ivy, leaves, stems, flowers, fruit, roots, even the smoke from burning plants can lead to a reaction. Poison ivy is a variable plant, appearing as a low plant, as a small shrub, or even climbing trees. It looks different from season to season, yet is potent in all. In winter, this thicket of poison ivy branches growing high on a maple tree show the characteristic aerial roots of poison ivy. In spring, the alternating leaves appear, each with their 3 leaflets, colored a shiny red or bronze. As summer approaches, new growth retains its reddish cast, while the maturing leaves turn green, shiny at first, then a duller, yet still rich green. Autumn brings color to the poison ivy, again altering its appearance. All of us should learn to recognize and avoid poison ivy in all its forms at all times. The small whitish berries and colorful fall foliage are cut and brought into the home as decorations, with unfortunate results. Poison sumac, a close relative of poison ivy found in bogs, swamps, and other wet areas, should not be confused with other plants called sumac, which have red fruit and are not harmful. The poisonous sumac has greenish flowers and white fruit. Many other plants produce allergic reactions. Some pollen carried by the wind from trees and plants provokes hay fever in as many as 60 million people each year. In spring, flowering trees. In summer, grasses. And in late summer and fall, ragweed, sending millions of microscopic grains of pollen through the air.
Temperature outside is 88. It's hot and hazy today in the city, and there's little chance of relief coming up tonight. For those of you out there who have a touch of the hay fever, please know the pollen count is released. Today is 10.
For those without allergies, it is difficult to imagine the discomfort and distress caused by these microscopic bits of plant material. From simple hay fever to the major complications of asthma, the seriousness of pollen allergies should not be underestimated. Allergies require medical attention. If an allergy is suspected, a physician should be seen. Research into the causes and effects of allergic reactions to plants continues, exploring the nature of our immunological system, of foreign protein recognition, for hay fever reactions are closely linked to our ability to ward off disease, and poison ivy reactions are akin to organ transplant rejections. The plant dictamnus, called gas plant because of the strong, volatile, lemon-smelling oil it gives off. Blisters, discoloration, and occasionally more serious reactions occur when the juice comes in contact with skin and is followed by exposure to the sun or other ultraviolet light source. These scientists are studying this kind of reaction called phytophotodermatitis. Other common plants also cause this type of reaction. The leafy tops of both the wild and the cultivated carrot can produce the effect, as can fennel, parsnip, dill. Even some extracts of plants used in making perfumes may produce this effect. These chemicals, in response to ultraviolet light, leave marks as much as 2 months later. Other plants may cause irritation, some through spines, thorns, or burrs. The nettle has sharp, stinging hairs. Inside each hair is a small amount of fluid which is injected into the skin, causing a local inflammation and burning sensation. Both the cultivated and the wild iris can produce skin disorders in some people. The leaves, and especially the rhizomes, the underground stems of the plant, contain an irritating substance. Buttercups, lady slippers, the rock poppy or celandine also cause dermatitis. The crown of thorns, a member of the genus Euphorbia. Many of the plants of this genus contain a milky white sap which acts like an acid and burns some skin. This plant, snow on the mountain, although looking very different, is also a euphorbia, displaying the typical milky white sap. Frequently, the tough, calloused parts of the hands will not be affected by the sap. However, sap from snow on the mountain has been used to brand cattle, replacing a hot branding iron. Other euphorbias, which look like cacti and are mistakenly sold as cacti, can cause serious trouble. People have tried to drink the juice of euphorbia, thinking them safe cactus plants. The tender tissues of the mouth can be easily and seriously burned by this acrid sap. While there are no all-inclusive rules about harmful plants, it is wise to avoid contact with any plant which has a colored or a milky white sap. Another euphorbia frequently found in the home is the poinsettia. The typical milky white sap is present and may be harmful. All the dermatitis-causing plants we have seen have an additional danger. If they are eaten, the soft tissues of the mouth, tongue, and digestive system may be damaged, and severe gastric distress result. With children especially, the possibility exists that the irritated mouth and throat can swell, blocking breathing, and indirectly by choking, cause death. Since plants for the home are sold with instructions for their care, a clear and accurate warning of the plant's potential for harm could easily be included. Other plants brought into the home at holiday times can also be harmful. The attractive berries of the holly, while not considered very poisonous, can, if eaten, cause vomiting, diarrhea, and stupefied behavior in children. The Jerusalem cherry's leaves and stems, and especially the unripe green fruit, are dangerous if eaten. The white berries of mistletoe are very poisonous and must be kept out of the reach of small children at all times. If eaten, they lead to severe stomach irritation with diarrhea, a slow pulse, and death is possible. Many plants used as decoration in home and office are hazardous. Philodendron, an occasional cause of death in pets. Eating the leaves can produce severe digestive upset, leading to death. Dieffenbachia, or dumb cane, frequently grown in offices and homes, contain substances which cause a burning of the mouth and throat, excessive salivation, with the possibility of swelling which blocks breathing. Caladium, potted or planted, also belongs to this group. Unfortunate practical jokes using this type of plant have caused much discomfort and occasionally tragic consequences. Close relatives are found growing wild in the woods. Skunk cabbage, both leaves and roots are dangerous. Jack-in-the-pulpit is a well-known and easily recognized plant in the springtime, yet many people do not recognize the bright-colored berries of the jack-in-the-pulpit which appear in late summer and early fall, and which are highly noticeable and attractive, and therefore dangerous to young people. When small children are harmed by eating these plants, it is usually because the plant attracted the children's attention by their colorful flowers, bright fruit, or shiny seeds. Daffodils and other relatives of narcissus, like snowdrop, can cause trouble if eaten in quantity. Hyacinth, as well as the large amaryllis, are both capable of producing strong stomach cramping, vomiting, and diarrhea. Special care should be taken by anyone handling plants to keep bulbs out of the reach of children. The bulbs of daffodils and their relatives are the most dangerous part, concentrating the poison and causing serious harm if eaten. Seeds and seed packets also should be carefully handled to prevent accidental ingestion, since some seeds contain concentrations of poisonous substances and others are treated with hazardous fungicides. Some plants have a different kind of effect. The seeds of certain kinds of morning glory have been used to produce states of altered consciousness, a state of mild poisoning. Marijuana, peyote, belladonna, opium, and many other plants are psychoactive, affecting our conscious minds as well as our physical state. From ancient times, man has known of the effects of certain plants. This knowledge has been communicated as descriptions, as warnings. Some plants are specifically known for their deadly nature. However, all the following very dangerous plants must be eaten, chewed, and swallowed to produce their harmful effects. The death angel, a mushroom of the genus Amanita. Several small bites are enough to kill an adult. The fly mushroom, Amanita muscaria. No wild mushroom should ever be eaten unless there is absolutely no doubt about its identification and safety. In our recent historical past, a practical knowledge of plants was required for everyone. Medicines, seasonings, food were frequently gathered from the wild. Valuable animals were kept in close proximity to human habitations. To avoid poisoning of the animals, all known dangerous plants were removed. With lessened agriculture today, we hear less of animal poisoning, yet even in New England it still occurs. Water hemlock, Cicuta maculata, growing in wet areas along fences. Its roots, if pulled up and eaten by grazing cattle, may cause death. The characteristic flat, white or greenish-white flower clusters, the coarse leaflets 2 to 5 inches long, with sharp toothed edges and veins ending at the notches between the teeth, and especially either the yellow lines or air chambers in the pith at the bottom of the stem are identifying marks. A piece of stem the size of a small green pea can kill an adult. The poison hemlock, Conium maculatum, is the plant used to kill Socrates, with leaflets that are small, fine, almost like a lacy fern. Other deadly plants are found at some distance from the home, encountered on walks or hikes. The false hellebore, the marsh marigold in wet swamp ground in the spring, the mayapple with leaves forming a canopy over the flowers in spring and over a fleshy green fruit in summer. The fruit turns yellowish green as the leaves wilt in late summer. Nearer to the home, in parks planted around buildings, we find plants like azaleas. All parts of all azaleas, roots, stems, flowers, and leaves, are poisonous if eaten. Azaleas, rhododendrons, mountain laurel, sheep laurel are all members of the heath family, all containing similar poisons, producing watering of the eyes, nose, and mouth, loss of energy, slow pulse, low blood pressure, and loss of motor control, leading to paralysis and death. Some shrubs and hedges used near the home are also poisonous. Box is very harmful if eaten. Privet. Only a few leaves or twigs can produce ulceration and a severely irritated digestive system. Children have been poisoned by eating the twigs and leaves cut during pruning. Clippings should be collected and discarded safely to avoid attracting the attention of small children. Privet also produces a small poisonous black berry which remains on the shrubs into the winter season. The bright-colored seeds of euonymus and of bittersweet are also hazardous. The flowers, seeds, and seed pods of the golden chain tree are also dangerous, as are the seeds and seed pods of wisteria. The danger of wisteria is a comparatively recent discovery, but we know now that as little as 1 or 2 seeds can cause serious illness in a child. Where a plant like wisteria is involved, we can be completely safe by simply picking off the seed pods when they first form, before they mature, and discarding them. The black locust has harmed children who ate its seeds or leaves or chewed on the inner bark. Some of our most common garden plants are potentially harmful. We speak of potential harm, for, as in the case of bleeding heart, we have no documented cases of poisoning, yet the plant does contain potent chemicals known to be dangerous. The garden lupins rarely cause poisonings, although some of them also contain dangerous chemicals. The low-growing bloodroot with its reddish sap, monkshood, the glory lily, lily of the valley in all parts, particularly the reddish-orange berries, all are poisonous. Digitalis, the foxglove, yields a drug extensively used in the treatment of heart patients, yet eating the plant results in an overdose of the drug and a case of poisoning. The autumn crocus, showing leaves in the spring, dying back in summer, to blossom in the fall, contains the powerful chemical colchicine. Called the wonder bulb or miracle bulb and set out on windowsills to bloom, children have been seriously poisoned from biting into the plant. Some tropical plants are often potted and found in homes or set out in patios or gardens. All parts of the lantana are poisonous, but especially the fruits. Oleander, with white, pink, red, single or double blooms. A single leaf can kill an adult if eaten. Angel's trumpet, Jimson weed, the various species of datura are all poisonous. Children have been sickened by sucking nectar from the blossoms or more generally by eating the seeds of the plants. The castor bean plant, frequently used for its luxuriant and rapid-growing foliage, inside the oval spiny fruits are attractive mottled seeds which are very poisonous. 1 or 2 seeds can be fatal when eaten. Seeds must be kept away from children. The small seed of the abrus, the most deadly plant material found in the United States, called the precatory bean or rosary pea. These red and black seeds were used in the Caribbean area to make jewelry. It is now illegal to bring the seeds into the country because they are so deadly. 1 of the seeds is enough to kill. The poison is one of the single most deadly substances known to man and is similar in action to the venom of poisonous snakes. These seeds are extremely dangerous and should be eliminated from any home where they still may be found. Children are often attracted to a plant by its flowers or bright berries. Daphne, This pink or white-flowered shrub shows red or yellowish berries, which can cause alteration of the digestive system. Several berries can kill. The nightshades, with small flowers and berries appearing simultaneously over a long period of time. The purplish flowers and red attractive berries of the deadly nightshade. The white flowers and black berries of the black nightshade. In the late summer and fall, the white and black berries of the white baneberry can be seen in the woods. As few as 5 or 6 berries can cause acute stomach cramps, a raised pulse, vomiting, delirium, and circulatory collapse. The red-fruited baneberry is equally poisonous. English ivy, found so many places, used so many ways. Both berries and leaves are poisonous. Pokeweed, pokeberry, pigeonberry, inkberry, or any one of many other names. In the spring, people pick the young shoots and by boiling and changing the water twice, use the shoots as food. Care must be taken that no part of the dangerous root is eaten. The berries of the poke are the least poisonous part of the plant when cooked. However, people have died from eating too many of even cooked berries. Raw, as few as 3 or 4 berries can seriously sicken a child, and as few as 10 can cause serious poisoning in an adult. Yew, or taxus, commonly used as an ornamental hedge or shrub. The bright red, fleshy part of the fruit is the least dangerous part. Children are frequently tempted to touch it and put it in their mouths. Inside the fleshy red part is a black seed. This seed is very poisonous. Chewing and swallowing the black seed produces serious poisonings. With a few simple rules, we can make ourselves much safer. Never put any part of any unknown plant in your mouth. Do not eat, suck nectar from, chew, or drink tea made from the leaves of plants. People have been sickened from tea made from the leaves of tomato plants. Because we eat one part of a plant does not mean another of that plant is safe. Learn which plants near you are dangerous and avoid them. Everyone should be able to identify poison ivy and other common plants. Do not put whistles or toys made from plants in your mouth. In the event an emergency occurs, it is essential that professional aid be obtained immediately. Call a doctor at once. If possible, get a piece of the plant to help in identifying whether the plant is actually poisonous and what kind of poison is involved. Knowing the color of flowers, the shape of leaves, where the plant grows, whether it was wild or cultivated, whether a tree or a shrub, or any common names used for the plant, all these pieces of information help the doctors identify the plant to determine the appropriate treatment for the poisoning. Do not wait until symptoms appear. Prompt and appropriate treatment can appreciably reduce the danger of any poisoning. Sometimes symptoms may not appear for several hours and then progress rapidly when they do show. Call your doctor at once and let him decide the best course of action. Most child care and medical books for the home only have short general paragraphs on poisons. Other very useful books and pamphlets are available showing common poisonous plants. Each member of the family should become familiar with the plants to be avoided. In many areas, poison control and information centers exist, maintaining close contacts with doctors and scientists at arboreta and botanic gardens who are experts in identifying poisonous plants. Through your descriptions of the plant, they assist in identifying and advising courses of treatment. Do not induce vomiting until recommended by a physician. With some plant poisons, vomiting can cause even more harm. If vomiting is recommended, a small bottle of ipecac syrup should be used to induce the vomiting. Many things in our world are dangerous to us if misused. We can kill ourselves by eating too much table salt, by swallowing laundry bleach, by misusing some plants. Knowing about the few plants which are potentially hazardous, knowing what to do when a poisonous plant is accidentally eaten, can help keep us from danger. There is no reason that anyone, especially our young children, should ever die from plant poisons. We can protect their lives, and the first step is knowledge of poisonous plants.
So the irony was that I was pulling pokeberry plants out of, weeding those out. And I know those. I don't eat them. I don't know why anybody would consider eating them. And so it's possible it wasn't poison ivy that I got, but it might have been poison sumac. Like looking at these two films and looking at the leaves, because I identified where the poison ivy was, but it might have been poison sumac. Interesting. Anyways, I'm miserable. And so basically this just reiterates that I don't need to go outside. I need to be inside showing you 16 millimeter films. And so thank you for watching today. Gabriel, thank you for donating via the ko-fi.com/avgeeks link. You can also donate via the Super Thanks button, patreon.com/avgeeks button. Those are great ways to support us, but also just showing up, watching, occasionally hitting the thumbs up or the like, and subscribing. Those are other ways to watch, to support us. Also, for some reason, rabies is bumping up in our most viewed for some reason, and people are writing, why is YouTube recommending this to me? And I'm like, I don't know. So do what you can. Spread the word that we have literally almost 11,000 other films that people can watch. Totally different films that are not that rabies film. I'm just interested. I'll keep it up because it's interesting, and people do learn about rabies. They are talking about rabies, which I think is important, but why YouTube just feels like they have to push people to watch this, I have no idea. So, anyways, I'm sorry that you had to watch the rabies video, but you really don't. You can just skip it. Anyways, we'll be back again tomorrow, where they'll be installing a new refrigerator, and I hope that that is not going to be chaotic, but who knows? Maybe it will be. And hopefully I will have had a steroid shot that will help lessen my body's response to my poison ivy exposure. That's what I'm hoping. It won't make it go away, but man, like, it's bad right now. But anyways, love you guys. So great to see you. Thanks for letting me borrow your eyeballs. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.